Hi, and welcome to BremSter Puzzles, and welcome back to the World Puzzle Federation series. Today I'm continuing with the World Puzzle Federation 2015 and starting round 6. Of course, we're starting with Classic Sudoku 1. Now, the round 6 of the 2015 World Puzzle Federation competition puzzles was set by the Czech Republic setters, and Classic Sudoku 1 was set by, and I'm going to butcher the pronunciation on this one, I believe it's Yzihadina. And these puzzles, of course, all of the puzzles in the pack totaled 600 points. This Classic Sudoku is only worth 15 points. Now, at the start of these, I try and go through how the points worked a little. I've spoken to some people who do these, and the way apparently it works is you get 90 minutes to solve 600 points worth of puzzles, and you're trying to get as many points as possible. Now, world champions, the best and fastest people, would normally be able to do the entire pack, all 600 points, in about an hour. So the way it was explained to me is if you could do 10 points in 10 points a minute, then you are really in the running for being able to knock it all out and be like in the top solvers. If you could do 5 points a minute, then you are doing really well for being doing well. I'm not that fast, and I'm comfortable not being that fast. I'm also going to be trying to explain things to you and all of that. So if you're trying to compete and try and figure out, that will work. Now, in the description below, I'm going to be providing some links. The first one, of course, will be to each puzzle I solve. This puzzle will be linked below, but also will be to the World Puzzle Federation archive itself. And on that archive, you can go and you can get all of the puzzles they've ever published between 2014 and now. But if you go to a particular month, you can see the results of the people of how many points they got and how long it took them to submit those points. So it is possible for you to try and grab the packs and then do the puzzles and see how you compare with the people who solved them back in 2015, if that's what you wish to do. For me, I'm just going to try and solve and demonstrate the puzzle, explain them, and have some fun solving. That's what I like to do. So this is Classic Sudoku 1. So let's have a look at how the rules of a Classic Sudoku work. So we have normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, we have to place the digits 1 to 9 without repetition. The first, I think it's 5, might be 6 puzzles in this set will be classics, and then we'll move on to the variants. I definitely enjoy the variants more than the classics, but I'm trying to present all of the packs, so that's what I'm going to do. I think that's everything, so I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. So column 5 has almost all of its digits placed. There is no 1 or 5. So these are 1 and 5. And again, so center pencil marks are what I use if I narrowed a cell down to a restricted number of digits. So in these cells, I can only place 1 and 5 because 1 and 5 are the only digits that haven't been placed. Then I can quickly see that the 5 is looking across, making this the 1 and this the 5. Now, I could have just written the 1 and 5 in, but I find if I just say it around and say, well, this has to be a 1 and this has to be a 5. Well, I can see that in my head. If you're watching me do it and you don't see what I've seen, it makes it much harder for you to follow the video, and I don't want it to be hard for people to follow along, particularly if they're not keeping up with what I'm doing or seeing it in the same order that I'm seeing. So I'm normally going to try and pencil mark what I'm seeing and then eliminate, even though I could potentially just pencil mark in faster to make it easier to engage with the video, because it's just, I think it's more helpful. I know when I'm watching solvers and they are, so as you can see, I'm really worried about time. If I'm watching solvers and they're just putting in digits and I can't follow the speed that they're doing or follow what they're doing, I'm immediately out of the video. I can't follow along. I'm done. So I don't want that to happen to anyone else, particularly if you're new to the hobby. Anyway, I can see that column 7 is also restricted. I'm very tempted to center pencil mark 3 digits here. So because this column is missing its 2, its 6, and its 9, I can see this can't be a 2. This can't be a 6. That probably wasn't as helpful as I wanted. So let's just look at some basic Sudoku. Where can I look for basic Sudoku? Right, 8 and 8 are looking across saying 8 can't be in those cells. That 8 is looking down saying 8 can't be here. So this has to be the 8. I can see, right, and similarly, 8 and 8 can't be in any of these cells, so this has to be the 8, which puts 8 up here in one of these two cells. Now, what are the corner pencil marks? A corner pencil mark is when I have restricted, particularly in a classic, is when I've restricted a single digit down to 2 cells within any region. So this 3x3 box is called a region, and I've got 8 restricted down to 2 cells. And why would I pencil mark like this? This is called Snyder notation. It's because if for any reason I can eliminate 8 from one of these, I know the other one needs to be an 8. I'm recording that information so I don't need to rediscover it again later. Will that help? I don't know. I can see in this box, 1 can't go in any of those cells. So 1 is in one of those two. 2 can't go in either of those. So 2 is in one of those two. I've got my 3, 4... right. See, and this is what I can use. 2 and 4 need to go into this box, and the 2 and the 4 can't go into those. So this becomes a 2-4 pair. 2 and 4 can only go into those cells. Now, that means I can remove the 2 pencil mark, but it means that this can't be a 1, because if this is a 1, this would have to be both 2 and 4. So I'm removing a 1 pencil mark, and that tells me straight away by pencil mark, without me having to rediscover it, that this is a 1. This box is now missing its 5. Okay. So don't need to look at 5s. Now, I'm doing this quite slowly, so it'll follow along. I will start doing puzzles faster as hopefully, as I am explaining less. 4, 4, and 4 look down, meaning that 4 is in one of those two. Actually, let's look at this row, because these are 1, right, actually, just let's look at it this way. Where is 1 in this row? It can't be in those. There's already a 1 in the box. It can't be in those. This is a 1, which means these digits are the 2 digits that haven't already been placed in the row, which are also 2 and 4. This 2 looks up, making that the 4 and that the 2. Now I'm down to these 2 digits, which are 5 and 9. So if this is 5 and 9, this also has to be 2 and 4, being the only, because I've got all of the other digits locked in. This 5, 9 means that I can't put a 5 or a 9 anywhere else in the row. This has to be a 2 or a 4. Okay. 2 is it? Where's 2 in this box? It can't be in any of those because of the pointing 2s. This is the 2. So this is a triple, and as you've seen in columns, I'm quite happy to pencil mark a triple. These are 3, 6, and 9. That actually didn't help me miss that much. Let's look at the triple here. Where's 1 in this row? I can't put 1 in any of those 3, and there's already a 1 in box 8. So this is the 1, and this comes down to a pair, which is 3, 6. Now the 6 is looking down, making that the 3 and that the 6. This is now a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 7 and 9. Which means in this column, where is the 1? The 1 and the 1 means the 1 has to be in one of those 3, so that becomes the 1. This is now a triple. 3, 7, 8. There's a 7 and an 8 looking at that cell, so that's the 3, and this just becomes a 7, 8. Whoops, I did that wrong. This is a 3, and this just becomes a 7, 8 pair. Okay. Maybe the triple in row 2, because these are 2, 4, 5. There's a 2 looking at that. That one can't be a 4. So 4 is in one of those 2. And 2 can't be there and 5 can't be there. That doesn't seem to have helped me as much as I might like. I can see 8 is in one of those 2. Maybe the triple in this column. Yeah, this 4 is looking down. That's not a 4. This is the 4. So the triple in this column is 1, 5, and 6, and I can't put 1, 5. So this cell is what is called a naked single. And a naked single is when a cell sees all but one of the digits. So this cell here sees a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 7, an 8, and a 9. So that must be a 6. Which means this isn't a 6, and this is now a pair because there's only 2 digits missing from the column, which is 1 and 5. So this becomes 1 and 5. So if this was a 5, both of those would need to be 1. It doesn't work. So this is the 2, which looks across, making that the 4, which makes that the 5. So this is a pair. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. This is a 7, 9 pair. Not seeing how to resolve that yet, but I am spending more time explaining than I am solving. In this column, I'm just missing 5, 7, and 9. So, but this can't be a 9. So these are 3, 5, and 7. So there must be a 3 in one of those two. Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. Whoops, not 3, 7, 9. 3, 5, 7. And I'm not sure. There's no 5 there. 5 is in one of those two. Yeah, I'm definitely missing an obvious trick, but that's okay. So is it box 6 or box 3 that I need to look at? Or have I just missed a pointing pencil mark? It could be any of them. So these are 2, 6, 9. So 3 in this box. It can't be in any of those or any of those. So 3 is in one of those two. 1 in this box. Right, here we go. It's the same trick as we found, I think it was in here, which is 1 and 1 means 1 has to be in one of those 3, but that's a 4. So 1 is in one of those two, which means the 1 is overlapping with the 8s. So this is a 1-8 pair. So once I say this is a 1-8 pair, this can't be a 3, and that has to be the 3. And this just becomes the 1-8 pair. So this has to be 2, 6, or 9, and it can't be a 2. So this is a 6 or a 9, and that's a 6, 9 pair, which means if this was a 9, both of those would have to be 6, and there'd be no 2 in the box. So this is the 2. The 2 says that this isn't the 2. This 3 looks down saying this isn't the 3. So this is a 6, 9 pair, and this column is just missing its 4. So I can put 4 in there, which makes that 2, which makes that 4, which makes that 2. This is 6 or 9, which is holding up, and I need to break this open somehow, which will be scanning that I haven't done somewhere. I kind of break narrative flow when I'm explaining like this. It's the 5. The 5 looks across, saying that can't be a 5. So that's the 1, that's the 5. The 1 looks back, making that the 8, and that the 1. Whoops, 1. The 8 looks back, making that the 7, and that the 8. The 7 looks across, making that the 9, and that the 7. The 9 looks back, making that the 6, and that the 9. The 6 looks down, making that the 9, and that the 6. The 9 looks down, making that the 6, which takes 6 out of there. This is a 3, 9, but something will happen. The 9 will look down, making that the 5, and that the 9. The 5 will look down, making that the 7. The 7 will look across, making that the 9, and that the 7. The 9 will look across, making that the 3, and that the 9. The 3 and the 7 means that has to be the 5, and the 7 just makes that the 3, and that is the end of the puzzle. Now, this one took me 10 minutes, which is way over the 3 minutes that a world champion would take or whatever. It was over 3 times the time. But I'm also trying to explain how pencil marks works and how some of the pointing logic works. Hopefully I did okay at that. As I move through these series, I'm going to explain those concepts less. And like on the next puzzle, I won't explain why I'm pencil marking the way I am, or what the pencil marks mean, and that should hopefully help me to speed up. I'll do that at the start of every video in these series, so in Classic Sudoku 1. But as I come across new concepts, I'll try and explain those concepts as I go through these series. I think that's a useful thing for me to do. I hope so anyway. Hope you enjoyed the puzzle. Hope you're going to enjoy this month. I'm hoping I am too. I don't know these puzzles at all, but it'll be fun. And as always, good luck with your solving.